Gentlemen, hello yet again. We are here now breaking down the number 6 seeded G-Men Ballin up against the number 1 seed, yours truly, the Dirty Jersey Birds. What's going on? Well, obviously, we already started off quick. Thursday night, Julio Jones was in at the flex for the Dirty Jersey Birds. He put up 14 points. He was predicted for 10. He put up 14, so he went a little over. That's good for the Dirty Jersey Birds. What's happening right now? Tony Romo and Jason Witten, they're doing a pretty good job. They're combined for, I think, about 37 points right now, I think. I want to say 37 points with the second half still to go. So they're doing a pretty good job as well. My prediction before this week started was going to be they were going to go for something between 30 to 35 points. They're already eclipsing that. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the second half, but obviously they have the ability to go up. So what's going to happen now? Let's look at the G-Men Ballin side. Eli Manning going up against Washington. He's predicted for 21 points. Eli has been hot. He has taken this job away from Phillip Rivers in the G-Men Ballin lineup. He's been doing his work. He put up a much-needed 28 points last week. He's facing Washington. It's always tough against Washington, but I think Eli's in another zone right now. I mean, he's playing great football. The wide receivers are all doing a great job. He's making names out of Jake Ballin, Ramses Barden, Victor Cruz. Obviously, he's still got Hakeem Nicks. They're all doing a great job. Now, when it comes to points, he's predicted for 21. I like that. The way he's been playing, he could probably go for more. But 21's a good bet right now because when they play Washington, it's always tough. Every time, in division games are always tough. But 21, I think, is a safe bet. I wouldn't be shocked if he went for something around 25 either. So I'm going to put him in that 20 to 25 range. When it comes to running backs, we got Michael Bush and Marshawn Lynch against Chris Johnson and Roy Halou. Bush is going up against Detroit. He predicted high for 18. Oakland's been tripping lately. They just got smoked by the Packers. This is a must-win game for both teams, really. Oakland needs a win. Detroit needs a win. I like Detroit more. That defense is still iffy, and Ndamukong Suh is back, though. Is he ready to stop the runners, or is he going to keep trying to go after quarterbacks? That's still, to be seen. But he's predicted for 18. The way that offense is going right now, Palmer's not playing well. The wide receivers are all banged up still. Bush is getting the touches. So 18 points, I think is a little high. But, he went for 14 last week, so I'm going to go that again. I think he's going to go in that 13 to 16 point range. That's what I'm feeling. Obviously, he's going to find the end zone, I think. So I'm going to put him in that 13 to 16 point range. Marshawn Lynch, taste the rainbow, everybody. I mean, the guy's on fire. He's playing great football. He's going up against Chicago. He's predicted for 13. Chicago's been stopping the run pretty good. They're not an easy team to run on. So I think Lynch could be contained. I say that lightly because he's playing so well right now, and he's carrying Seattle for the most part. So he's predicted for 13. I like that. I think it's a safe bet. I think he's definitely finding the end zone this week. He's just got a nose for it right now. 13, I think, is a safe bet. If he went for 15, wouldn't shock me, but I like the 13 call. As for the other side, we have Chris Johnson and Roy Halou. Roy Halou has rushed for 100 yards in his past 3 games. So, 300 yards in 3 games, that's pretty good. The Giants defense just gave 100 yards in 3 quarters to Felix Jones after DeMarco Murray broke his leg or ankle, whichever you may. So I like Roy Halou. He's predicted for 12. You're always a little iffy when it comes to Shanahan's running backs, but I think he's finally bought into Halou. He's predicted for 12. I like that. Big guy here this week for the Dirty Jersey Birds, Chris Johnson, CJ2K. He was, people thought he would have a good game last week against the Saints. He got stuffed. Luckily, the Dirty Jersey Birds were on a bye, so he didn't. He was very mediocre in that game. He's going up against Indy. Indy shut him down last time. I think he wants his revenge. I think he's ready to break out again and have another big game. He's predicted for 17. I like that call. I think he's going to run big. This is a game that Tennessee needs to keep up in the wild card race. So I like him in this matchup a lot. Then we come to the wide receivers. We have Brandon Lloyd and Nate Washington against Larry Fitzgerald and Mike Wallace. Lloyd against Cincinnati. St. Louis is, it's St. Louis. You wonder what they're going to get. Brandon Lloyd has been a constant, though. He's a guy that you can count on for at least 5 to 8 points every week. And, I think it's going to continue. He's predicted for 8. I like that call. I think he can find the end zone. So I think he might go for 10. But, 8's a good, solid base for him. I agree with CBS on that one. Nate Washington against Indy. Again, Indy is not very good at all on defense. As an overall team, they're not good. I like Nate Washington this week. He's predicted for 6. You're always wondering, what's going to happen. I think they're going to pound the rock, though. I think Chris Johnson's going to see a lot of action in this game. But Nate Washington, he had a big game recently. I think, and it was on the bench last week, obviously. But I think he can follow it up with a very solid campaign of a week. 6 points is a is a safe bet. I'm not afraid to say he might go for 10. So I like Nate Washington this week. On the other side, we have Larry Fitzgerald going up against Cleveland. Fitz is going up against Joe Hayden this week. Joe Hayden knows his stuff. He's very good. He's having a great year. He's had like a mini Revis recently. I know that's high praise right there, but he's been playing very well. But this is Larry Fitzgerald. He's finding ways. Last week he went for 140 in the touch. I don't think he's going to have that great of a week, but I do believe he's going to have a solid week. He's going to continue to contribute big for this team. He's predicted for 12. I think it's a good call. You always wonder about the quarterback play. Is it going to be Skelton? I think Skelton's going to be playing this week. But I think Fitz is going to go for at least 9 to 10 points. 9 or 10 points. 12's a high one, but I think he can go for at least 9 or 10 points. Then on Monday night we have Mike Wallace against San Francisco. San Francisco's defense has been stellar all year, but they've been a little bit iffy against the pass. It's you wonder what's going to happen. Is Big Ben going to play? If he plays, it bodes better for Mike Wallace. If he doesn't play, you wonder, maybe his deep threat is taken away with Charlie Batch quarterback. So I think his play hinges on if Ben plays. But I still think they're going to try to get the ball in his hands. He's predicted for 10. If he went for something like around 7, it wouldn't shock me. But 10, I think, is a good call. Obviously, I already talked about Jason Witten. Antonio Gaines against Baltimore, tough matchup, very tough matchup. Baltimore's getting Ray Lewis back. His numbers overall against the Ravens have been somewhat good, but he's predicted for 8. He's still a big target for Rivers. I expect this to be a really a good game. I think the Ravens are going to come out fast, though, and I think that defense is going to be swarming. Gates is predicted for 8. I think that's a safe bet. I'm not going to say he's going to go higher or low. I think 8 is a good call. Because if you went for a touchdown and 20 yards, there's your 8 points right there. If you went for 70 yards, there's 7 points right there. So I like Gates, to fall in that 7, 8, 9 point range this week. Obviously, I talked about Julio Jones. Ben Tate is in right now against Carolina. Carolina's run defense is not that good. You wonder, how many touches is Tate going to get. He had, a good amount of yards last week, while Arian Foster didn't play that well against Cincy. So Ben Tate is going to, he's going to tote the rock. He's going to get his touches. He's predicted for 6. I think he can go a little bit over that. If he went for 10, 11 points, it wouldn't shock me because he could find the end zone. And like I said, that defense is not that good. Plus, that defense is not that good against the run. Plus, you wonder how much is Foster going to be playing in this game. But I do know for a fact that this might not happen because, Demaryius Thomas is also floating there on the bench. He was just picked up. So this is something that, it's going to have to be watched closely, as, the hours approach nearer when it comes to the deadline to set your lineups. Then we have the special teams unit, Billy Cundiff and the Bengals against Sebastian Janikowski and the Texans. Cundiff is, didn't practice on Friday. He's questionable. So, again, this is something that's, something to look out for. He's predicted for 8. Obviously, I think that could be a field goal type of game. But, with Cundiff in question, it's hard to predict what he's going to do. But if he does play and he's healthy enough to, to kick from a distance, 8 points is a solid bet for him. The Bengals defense against St. Louis, predicted for 10. I think they can go for much more than that. The St. Louis offense is not very good. The Bengals have been playing good, and I think they're predicted for 10. I like them for more this week. I think they can go for 10's a solid base. They can go for at least 15, I believe. And that's what I think of the Bengals this week. Sebastian Janikowski has been very quiet recently, very quiet, but he still remains a kicker because obviously it's my team. I believe he can go for high points. He's predicted for 12 against Detroit. Obviously, Detroit. You're going to try to get as many points as you can, plus the way that offense has been playing, you wonder if they're going to even be able to score, so they might rely on the leg of Sebastian Janikowski. But 12 points I think is a little high, especially the way he's been kicking recently, not having many opportunities. So I think he's more of a safer bet to say from 8 to 10. Maybe if it's good. If he went for 12, that would obviously be great. But I'm going to put him in the 8 to 10 range. And the Texans defense is going to be tested this week because they're going up against Carolina and Cam Newton with no Wade Phillips. So how are they going to come out? They've been going for double digits every week for I believe the past 7 weeks. They've gone for double digits. So I'm going to say they go for double digits again. At least 10 points from this squad. With an upside of 15 to 18 points. Depending on how good they get after Cam. So when it comes to my prediction, I'm running low on time. I'm obviously going to pick yours truly. I'm picking myself not because it's my team, but because I truly believe with the matchups, the way things are going, that they are going to pull it out. Romo's doing his job right now. Witten's doing great work. I believe this is going to come down to the running back play. Is Chris Johnson and Roy Hill going to be able to do it? I think they will come through this week. Eli Manning's going to play great. I expect Michael Bush to play great as well. On top of that Bengals defense, but I just think it's not going to be enough this week. I think Mike Wallace can help close out on Monday night, so I am taking the Dirty Jersey Birds to move on to play for the Jim Nantz Trophy.